everyone, I'm Mary Scarpati and thank you for watching another video with me. Today I'm making a video. I am 39 weeks and 1 day, so I am definitely almost fully through this pregnancy, and I wanted to make this video because this is like expectations versus reality. I had no idea about these pregnancy symptoms, that I would go through them in my pregnancy. The disclaimer is every pregnancy is so different, and your pregnancy could be nothing like my pregnancy, and that's okay. But I definitely would have appreciated hearing some of these pregnancy symptoms that I had never heard of before, and then some that I just didn't expect. So I wanted to go through all the different things that have happened to me during my pregnancy that I definitely wasn't expecting. And I hope you find it interesting, because I definitely would have before pregnancy, and I honestly would have appreciated it during pregnancy too. The first thing that I did not expect while being pregnant, and I didn't know this could be a pregnancy symptom, is having mental health issues or depression. I had depression on and off for my teenage years into my 20s, and a lot of that stemmed around having really struggled with an eating disorder for many years. So once I was done with the eating disorder, for the most part, the depression was gone for me, and I'm so grateful for that. I had lived 6 years without experiencing, I had lived about 5.5 years without experiencing any kind of depression, which was such a blessing. But when I got pregnant, before I even knew I was pregnant, I experienced extreme depression, and it was very shocking to me. And it was weird because I had just gotten married. We had just bought a house. Like, everything on paper was like perfect. So I could not figure out why I was so depressed. And I was telling my husband, I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I literally am feeling so depressed. And I knew what the feeling was. And normally, like, there was contributing factors around it, but there was no life factors, nothing that really was contributing to this depression. And now I realized it was because I was pregnant. It was the hormones, and I didn't know that could happen. Like, I didn't know your pregnancy hormones could make you feel depressed. But for me, that was the case. I felt so depressed. And then the minute I found out I was pregnant, I was fine. Like, it was weird. I don't know if it's like maybe I wasn't fine afterwards, but because in my first trimester, I really did struggle. I had such a hard physical first trimester, and I really detail that more in my first trimester recap, and I'll link that in the description box below if that's something you're curious about. But I don't know if it's like just for me understanding, okay, this isn't because of anything going on in your life, it's because like of these hormones that you're experiencing. It took the weight off of the depression for me, because I definitely struggled my whole first trimester, but I didn't feel as overwhelmed and as like, oh my gosh, I think I need to speak to someone, as when I did before I realized I was pregnant. And then once I realized I was pregnant, I think it took like that pressure off me, like, oh, why is this happening? Because then I knew it was just like a hormonal thing for me. It wasn't like something I needed to talk to someone about, because I've had therapy and I've had positive experiences with therapy. So I'm definitely, if you feel that you need to reach out to a healthcare professional, I highly recommend it. But for me, therapy is an investment, and it's something that you put your time into. And I didn't feel like I actually needed it. I've had seasons where I really, really needed it, but this was more like because of the hormones. Anyway, that was something I definitely didn't know. And talking to friends, I don't really know that many people that have gone through that. So I thought it would be something to mention for y'all, because it was extreme. Like, it was extremely noticeable. I felt like I had gone through a significant change, and enough that I could vocalize it and identify it to other people. Like, this is something I'm going through right now. And if it had continued on, I definitely would have sought like a mental health professional to talk to. Fatigue, even though this is like funny, because I don't know why I didn't think I would feel so tired pregnant, but I think it's just one of those things. Like, people say, oh yeah, pregnant women take naps or whatever, but like, I didn't realize I would have what I like to call supernatural fatigue. It's not like a normal tired. It's like I cannot go on. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before. I've actually never fallen asleep driving before, and before I knew I was pregnant, I was driving and I was so tired. I actually fell asleep behind the wheel. I could not stay awake. And that's never happened to me before. I could not stay awake at all. So it's like the craziest fatigue. I honestly don't like driving now because I just get so tired and I'm also so uncomfortable. One thing I didn't expect in pregnancy is how much I love feeling my son's movements. It is so crazy. Like, honestly, I do think that is the best thing that's ever happened to me in pregnancy, is like how incredible it is to have a little human being moving inside of you and like knowing, like getting to know them before they're born. That's something I didn't expect. And that's like a good expectation versus reality, since I've said two bad things, is just how incredible and miraculous it feels to like be the first person in the world to get to know your baby. Like, that is so cool. And sometimes it's like frustrating for me because I'm so excited about it and I want to talk about it to somebody else. And I just feel like nobody really gets it. I'm sure they'll get it once they know him and meet him, but nobody really gets it until they get to experience it for themselves. Like, just how cool it is to get to know your baby and like see their personality and the things that make them move. Like, he loves when I drink chocolate milkshakes. He really goes crazy. It's like funny, if he wasn't moving for a while, I'll get like a little nervous and I'll be like, okay, I'll have something sweet. And then he's like, hey, hi. And it's just so funny. He's definitely got a sweet tooth, and he's just like, getting to know him has been one of the coolest experiences of my life, and getting to feel him inside me. I think that's going to be the thing I miss the most about being pregnant, is just feeling my baby inside me and him moving around and just having like a little buddy around all the time. It's pretty cool. I think another thing that's been hard is because I've had such like a physically hard pregnancy, I just feel like I forget what it's like to be myself. I mean, I'm at the end of my pregnancy right now, so I'm 39 weeks, and I just totally, I look at old videos of me, like in old vlogs of me before getting pregnant, and I'm just like, I remember being that person, but I just can't even relate, if that makes any sense. Like, it's just such a crazy, it's so crazy how much I've changed, and like for the better and for worse. Like, in a lot of ways, I feel like I'm a lot more grounded than I've ever been in my life, and I can't really pinpoint what that is. I think it's just because like I don't really socialize as much. I don't have as much bandwidth for a lot. So being at home and like nesting and homemaking and like just being very present in my like the simple tasks of my daily life has been such like has been more grounding. But then part of me also misses that like fun, like do anything, go anywhere, meet up with friends part of my life that I definitely haven't been living. And like, I don't know if every pregnant woman experiences that. If that's something you've experienced or you haven't experienced, like, I'm very blessed in the fact that I have a lot of really understanding friends. And it's also funny because a lot of friends actually that I wasn't keeping as good contact with, like I have two really good friends. Two of my best friends from childhood live in New Jersey. I live in Texas, and that's where I grew up, is in New Jersey. And we talk on the phone so much more now because I'm so much more available, and like they're more available when I'm available, if that makes any sense. Whereas before, because I was going out and seeing people like in my community, I didn't have as much time to like talk to them. So in some ways, like I feel like it's helped me develop better relationships with some people, and then I feel like in other ways it's hurt relationships, not hurt them. I'm sure we'll be back on the same page eventually, but like I just don't have the same amount of bandwidth for socializing, so I just didn't expect that. So like the good side is like I do feel more grounded, and like I'm focused on like building a nice home life for me and my husband. But then I also kind of miss that like fun, do anything, carefree part of my lifestyle, which I really don't feel like I've been living at all. I'd love to hear if anyone else experiences this while pregnant, because I don't know if this is normal. I just know that that's been my experience. One big disappointment in pregnancy that I will say it was like a true disappointment is how little I enjoy food now since I've been pregnant. And I wish, like, I had no idea. I thought pregnancy was gonna be a food fiesta, a food frenzy. Like I love food. I'm one of those people that loves cooking and I love eating, and like for me, one of my happiest memories is going to dinner with my friends, my best friend Samantha and my twin sister, and we literally ordered everything off the menu and had the best meal of our lives. That is like my idea of enjoyment. So I thought when I got pregnant, I would just be, you know, eat everything, live my best life, food. No. I could not enjoy food. I didn't enjoy food my entire first trimester, like literally on a hunger strike, could not eat, horrible. And then my second trimester was okay. And then my third trimester, everything smelled and tasted like gasoline to me. Like, what? How did that even happen? I don't know. I was very unhappy about the whole thing. But thankfully at 37 weeks, I got the hunger that I thought I would have my whole pregnancy at 37 weeks. So I've actually, the last like 2 weeks, been eating like I thought I would my whole pregnancy. Like making cake at like 9:30 at night and eating it. You know, like that's who I thought I'd be the whole pregnancy, which is probably a blessing in disguise. I probably would have gained a lot more weight had that been the case, but I just didn't expect not to enjoy food. Like I feel like they make pregnant women seem like all they do is eat, and I was like here for it. That's what I wanted. I wanted to be that girl. And I wasn't, and I just had to accept that just wasn't my story, it wasn't my life. Oh, so I thought everybody got an outie when they were pregnant. I thought everybody's belly button popped, and I will show you my stomach. I have not gotten an outie. I still have an innie, and I'm 39 weeks and 1 day, so I don't think it's happening. And it's shallow, it's pretty flat. It's not like, it's definitely come out a lot, but I thought everybody's belly button popped and mine didn't. So that was like an expectation I didn't expect. So I'll show you my belly button. As you can see, it's still in. It's definitely not out. It's not like exactly, it's pretty flat right now, but it's still not out. So something I did not expect and thought everybody got. I didn't know that until I got like to the end of my pregnancy, and I was like, oh, I thought everybody's belly button popped. So I don't know, I thought that was interesting. Did your belly button pop? Please let me know if you're pregnant or have been pregnant. Another thing that I thought was interesting is, okay, so my range of motion has been limited, but not as limited as I thought it would be. I thought I would be waddling. I don't feel like I waddle. One person said I waddled, and I was like, okay, whatever. But I don't really actually feel like I waddle at all. And I actually am surprised by my range of motion on my feet. Now, while laying down or sitting down, my range of motion is not the same. Getting up is very hard for me. Like especially laying down, it's like I really have to thrust myself over, or like throw my whole body over to get up. But on my feet, like I can still touch my toes. I don't know, I thought you couldn't do that anymore. Like I'm just surprised, like certain things. So sitting and laying down, yes, my range of motion is extremely limited and it's very hard and uncomfortable. But on my feet, I'm pretty like the same. I feel like I can still do jumping jacks. I can still do squats. It's not exactly comfortable. Raising my legs is hard. Like putting on pants is hard, and underwear in the morning, which might be TMI, but lifting my leg is a little bit hard because I feel like I can't actually like lift it because it like gets in the way of the belly. But I can still touch my toes, and I can still like dance and move, and I feel like I still have it. Now, maybe looking back, I'll be like, I definitely didn't have it. But at 39 weeks, I'm like, oh, I definitely have it more than I thought I would. So I don't know. That I just thought like no matter what, everything would be hard. I am very uncomfortable. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not. So those are all my pregnancy expectations versus reality. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you. And until next time, I hope to see you soon. Bye.